Hello and welcome to Rivaled episode 17. My name is Bo. That's Jake. We are the hosts. And before we get started, let's give I was going to say quick and cool, so I kind of can combine them there. But let's give a cool shout out to Connor's Computer Repair, our sponsor for today's episode. You can go check him out at connorscomputers.com. I'll put it in the description. Best rates in town, great customer service. If you're in the Kansas City metro area and need your computer repaired, he's got you. connorscomputers.com. I'll put that in the description. Okay, Jake, let's get into it.
So I think this week we're starting with Week 9 review, correct?
Right. Yes, sir.
All right. So game by game, we'll just kind of go over our picks and how we liked it. We started off with Thursday Night Football. That game was an obvious win for the Packers. We both guessed that right. It was the Cheeseheads versus the injury reserve, in my opinion.
Yes.
I think moving on, let's go down the line here. Texans and Jaguars. That was a kind of a scare game for the Texans. They almost lost.
Right.
I don't know if you saw. There was should have been delay of game penalty.
I did see that. That's ridiculous, man. And then do you see Lutton? I don't even know his first name.
Hey,
Lutton.
Jake Lutton.
Lutton. He was running, and then he hit him with a little spin, and then got in the end zone, and then they had a chance to win it. They just couldn't get the 2-pointer.
Yeah, so I definitely think Gardner Minshew could have some competition right now. I'm not saying Gardner Minshew – hold on. I'm not saying Gardner Minshew is a bad quarterback, but the Jaguars saw a good quarterback this week with Jake Lutton.
Here's what I'm saying,
could probably help.
Like, Jake Lutton, doesn't matter. Gardner Minshew, he was fun for a little bit, doesn't matter. Justin Fields probably going to be their quarterback next year.
Yeah. I think I sent you the mock draft. I think Jacksonville is looking at.
Yeah. Or
Fields.
that dude from BYU is pretty good too. Wilson.
Yeah, and North Dakota State. I forgot his name.
Oh,
Trey Lance.
yes.
Trey
Lance, dude.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Yeah. Cool.
I would say within the last 5-ish years, North Dakota State has had some pretty good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, they've always been solid up in FCS, and I was researching why they don't move to FBS, and they say, no, we're good kicking butt in FCS. We're good winning our natties. So.
For sure. Moving along, Giants at Washington, and we both had Washington. We were very happy with the defense, but then we saw exactly what the NFC East looked like in that Giants-Washington game. That was kind of a stupid
game. Who's going to win the division, dude? Like, is it the Eagles?
I personally think it'll be Philly.
Bad.
Yeah, I think it'll be
the
Philly.
Cowboys are terrible. I thought the football team was going to be a lot better. They suck. The Giants have been really close in all their games though, but still
they're like the new the new Falcons. They blow leads.
Right.
What is it, week 10? They should be at least 5-5 or something like that.
Possibly, yeah.
So, or I guess 5-4 since
week
9 and 10. Yeah. Washington came out with the win on that one. Ravens at Colts. It was a good bounce back win for the Ravens. Not a whole lot with the Colts. Didn't really show up. Lions at Vikings. We both got that one right, which I thought was kind of impressive. I do know Matt Stafford was in that game, but he's, I believe, he could be out this week with a concussion, I think. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. That'll be later topic for later in the week. Bears and Titans. You guessed the Bears, and they lost. I was kind of surprised by that because Bears defense is really, really good.
Yeah. Just the quarterback play. I mean, Foles, he had 300 yards, but still though, it's just, the stats don't always tell the whole story. Like Jameis Winston had 5,000 yards last year.
Right. And he was on a Buccaneers team that lost.
Right. So this is the eye test, man, with Foles and Trubisky, man. They might trade up for a quarterback in this year's draft.
So do you think after the Bears traded for a quarterback and Nick Foles, they'll go out and draft a quarterback again?
I could see that. They, maybe if Jacksonville, if they still want to give Minshew a chance to lead their team, maybe you see the Bears trade up for number 2.
So it'll be like 2017 all over again.
Maybe, yes. Or maybe like Trevor Lawrence will refuse to play for the Jets, so then the Bears send like 3 first-round picks for number 1 pick.
Hey, the Jets will still need a lot of help if they trade up for that.
Yeah.
Panthers at Chiefs. That was a scary game for the Chiefs. That game, what was it, 33-31? It was really close,
Yeah.
2 points.
Very
That
close.
I think that was kind of a wake up call for the Chiefs. Like
I don't know if it was
I
a
think I
wake-up call. I
mentioned.
think that it's almost lost.
Yeah, I do think that I did say something last week about Teddy Bridgewater and DJ Moore, is that if he could hit the under routes with DJ, it'd be really good. And I think Christian McCaffrey had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. You can
Yeah.
correct me on that.
Yep, he did.
So I think that the Chiefs defense needs to kind of step up on the run game and the slants and like the drag routes and everything like that. They
Right.
definitely need to step up with that and start playing a little more man to man instead of zone. But at
Right.
the same time, when you play zone, you have a whole lot more field to cover. So I think
Yeah.
that could be an issue. And I believe this was one of the 2 game of the weeks, Seahawks and Bills. We both guessed that right. You were hesitant at first.
I was.
But I was right on. Right on. I was happy with that. But no, Bills and Seahawks, that was a great game. I believe it could have been game of the week, or second game of the week. Walk me through that one. How did you feel? What do you think the Seahawks need to improve on to win next week?
Their secondary, man, it's so bad. Like I was telling you, I was giving you crap for not starting Josh Allen.
Hey,
Because, you got to
in
play
my
the
fantasy,
matchup.
he had like 30 some points.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
so
I'm
mad.
telling you, man, the Seahawks secondary is in trouble. Whenever we think about the Seattle Seahawks, I mean, we think of the Legion of Boom and dominant defense. Well, dude, I mean, they're giving up like 40 points a game.
Right.
They're basically the Cowboys, but with a better offensive line, a better quarterback, a better running back, better receivers,
Yeah.
better punter, better long snapper. But it was a fun watch, very entertaining. Wasn't a lot of rushing going around that game. Just letting Wilson and Allen just throw. I mean, the leading rushers only had about 50 yards between the 2 of them.
Really?
Yeah. DJ Dallas had 31 for Seattle, and Moss had 18 for Buffalo.
Wow. A game that we both got wrong in this in our prediction was Broncos at Falcons. Falcons actually came out with a win. I'm not surprised because it's a weak Broncos team, but at the same time, I thought Denver would have something more to show.
Right. I mean, this one almost got away from the Falcons again. I mean, they won. So, but still, though, I mean, I bet every time the Falcons have a lead going into the fourth quarter, it's just everyone's like,
Here we go again.
Yeah. I think Raheem, what's his last name? Morris?
Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert. I mean, he could honestly be the coach.
Are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking
Raheem
about the
Mostert
coach. I'm talking about the coach for the Falcons, the interim.
Oh, yeah.
Raheem something. Whatever he is, he might be the coach next year. I mean, he's
Falcons coach. I thought you were talking about Raheem Morris.
Yeah,
Raheem Morris.
Yes, I mean, he looks like he's taking good control of this team, and they're responding to him. So, I mean, obviously they're going to go out and look at other coaches, but I mean, if you got your coach like right there, like,
most definitely.
Don't need to look
most
anywhere
definitely.
else.
But we both got that game wrong, which is kind of surprised. Next up, we had Raiders at Chargers. We were split on that one. Chargers should have won, but there was a bad call or loose play at the end to where, who was it? Mike Williams was out of bounds or something like that.
Yeah,
and that's the one play we were talking about earlier, where Justin Herbert always has that one play.
Always.
To get away from him. And I think that was it. But Raiders came out to win. What was the final score of that game? Do you have that?
31-26.
Yeah, so he was like right there.
Did you see that thing on Instagram? It said like the Chargers were up 32-31, no time left on the clock. It said final, and then only the Chargers would lose a game this way.
When it's final, you're right.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. This game kind of surprised me, dude. Dolphins at Cardinals. Yeah. Dolphins came out with a win.
They
looked very good. They looked hungry. They came ready to play against the Cardinals' number one defense, right? Is that what they are?
Number one offense. They're top 5 defense, though, too. So, Yeah,
I
dude.
think
I
this
mean,
was a great game for Tua.
yeah, it was a fun game. Let's see where his stats. Here we go. Yeah, no, Tua. I mean, yeah, no, he played well. 250 yards, couple touchdowns. Kyler Murray ran for 100 yards too. Yeah, no, it was a fun game watching two young quarterbacks lead their teams. Brian Flores, he might win. If the Dolphins can like find their way into the playoffs, he might be coach of the year. 'Cause remember the team last year? They were so bad, and they went 5-11. Like they were one of the worst teams. And then
Yeah.
now it's down there 5-3 on a team that really hasn't changed much besides the coach and the quarterback.
Well, they picked up a defensive guy too. Byron Jones. The
Yeah, they
Cowboys.
got Byron. Yeah, they got Byron, and they also got
I'm,
Breida. So yeah, I mean they have some pieces, but it's not like they
I'm
made
not
like
saying it's like, yeah, they're not like that top tier team or whatever,
right.
but they've definitely made some moves that are really good.
Yeah, they got their coach.
So let me ask you this: who wins the AFC East?
Honestly, dude, I don't even know. I think it should. I'm thinking though it's gonna be because I want to say the Eagles, but they have like a really
No. AFC East.
Oh, AFC. I'm tripping. Buffalo Bills, baby. 7-2.
You think so?
Yeah. No, I mean they're Josh Allen. He started off hot, kind of got slow again, but I think he's gonna continue the good game he had against Seattle this week, and lead them to like maybe 11-5, 12-4, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay.
What about you?
Okay. I definitely think the Dolphins can make the playoffs as a wild card team, but I don't know who they'll play. That's the question right now.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they'll probably end up playing like the Ravens or, if anything, the Browns. I do think the Browns make the playoffs this year. I'm saying that because they updated their, like, what was it, 16 team playoff, whatever.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Why is every team making the playoffs?
We can talk about that later in this week.
Yeah,
I'm sure. We can dig more into it. But no, I definitely think the Dolphins will make the playoffs this year. I think they'll have kind of a 500 average. I want to say like 9-7, maybe 8-8, whatever. But I think they play the Ravens. Ravens don't win that division this year. I think it goes to the Steelers. And I think that they play Ravens or Browns. I think that'll be the couple division teams in that AFC North. And talking about the Steelers, Steelers at Cowboys. We both have that game. Steelers winning. Walk me through that, man. You're wearing your Cowboys gear right now. I mean,
yeah, Cowboys.
How do you?
Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. Oh yeah, happy Veterans.
Yeah, exactly.
We
thank
you. We should have started with that.
Well, we should have, man. We suck.
But it's okay. No, but
we'll close with that. It'll be the grand finale.
All right, we can do that. No, but Steelers at Cowboys. Walk me through that one real quick. How did you feel the Cowboys played with like the injury reserve of the Cowboys?
Yeah. So started off, I knew we were gonna lose, so I ordered some Buffalo Wild Wings to try and cope. And then we scored field goal. Okay, we're up 3-0, and then we scored again, and then we had the lead, and then we're going to the fourth quarter, and it looks like we're gonna beat the Steelers, and then a bunch of crazy stuff happened, and I blacked out, and we lost. I remember, dude, I straight up don't even remember, the fourth quarter. And I'm notorious for having such a good memory of the games and stuff like that. I could not – the only thing I remember in the fourth quarter was the Cowboys throwing the ball and dropping it or, getting it back down, at the end of the game. Gilbert played good, though. I wish he would be the starter instead of Dalton.
He played really good. Yeah, I was honestly quite surprised at how good he actually played.
Yo, our special teams coordinator, though, I love him. He's smart. Do you see that play that we did where, it was
running down the sidelines where it was kind of fake injury type thing.
My hamstring. And then they threw it across. And then we could have had a freaking touchdown, or we could have had the ball inside the 5, except the dude that he already ran past decided to block somebody in the back. That's the stupid thing about the Dallas Cowboys. We always beat ourselves. But we're 2-7. We're not going anywhere. We'll probably be 3-13, so it doesn't matter.
You think you guys will end up 3-13?
Dude, we're so bad. It'll be 3-13, 4-12.
I think at most 4-12.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, most 4-12. Okay, so the game of the week primary. We'll say the Seahawks and Bills was the secondary. The primary game was most definitely the Saints at Buccaneers. We had high hopes for the Buccaneers to win this game. We both went the Buccaneers. I was talking. Yeah, I was talking to Jacob. Shout out Jacob, our good buddy. I was talking to him, and he said at most it would be a 10-point win, no matter who wins. That was not the case.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That was not the case. Is Tom Brady's age finally catching up with him? Is Bill Belichick the reason Tom Brady isn't being successful right now? Is Tom Brady not a good 500-player team quarterback? Like, there's so many questions you could ask about why they lost.
Yeah.
Dude, why did they lose?
The reason why they lost was because from the time they landed in – or from the time they arrived – because it was a home game. From the time they arrived at the stadium, they just were awful. Because, I mean, Tom Brady was having, like – I mean, he probably wasn't going to win MVP, but he was going to be in the conversation. I mean, he was having a hell of a season. And then, you know, he had 3 picks and, like, 200 yards barely. It was weird. Because I don't know about you, but I went into this game – like, usually for Sunday nighters, if it's not like the Cowboys, like the Chiefs playing, like, I'll watch it, but I'll kind of have it, like, on in the background as I'm, like, doing other stuff and pay attention, like, in the fourth quarter. But for this game, I tended on having my eyes on the TV, like, the entire game. Like, it was the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl or something like that. And then I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh, my gosh. Like, it is 31-0, and it's the second quarter. So, what about you? Did you feel the same way?
Yeah. Okay, so forget the final score. Could you have seen this as so Brady goes to Tampa. We knew that. We knew he would play the Saints and Drew Brees twice a year, maybe 3. Coming into this, could you have seen this as the possible game of the year?
Oh,
like
yes.
The whole year.
Yes. That's what I put in my story before, and I looked like a fool because it was over by halftime.
Yeah. As much as I like Brady, Brady's a good guy. Y'all can hate him, whatever. Brady's a solid player. He shows up every day, except for Sunday. Yeah, except for Sunday. But he shows up, man. He's a what do you call it?
He's a winner.
Hey, 6 Super Bowls could tell you that. But no, like Drew Brees showed a lot of passion in this game. Because he came into the season like kind of a bounce back, not a bounce back year. Like he contemplated retirement, comes back for another year, 2-year deal, whatever, and comes out and just puts the hammer down to Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and just annihilates him. So I think this game could have gone no better for the Saints.
Oh, agreed.
So, props to Drew, props to Tom Brady. So, I mentioned Bill Belichick earlier, and that kind of leads us into our next one. Patriots at Jets. Jets had a chance to win this game. Like you said, they had a lead. They had a lead in the fourth quarter, and they blew it. Jets almost won. It was 50-50. I had Jets. You had the Patriots. Props to you. But this was kind of a Monday Night Football game that was like, who cares?
Yeah, no, I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it. Yeah, I kind of watched highlights. I actually had read the paper, so I had it here on the slide. But Patriots, how did the Jets look according to how did the Patriots look with their defense? Their defense wasn't that great. I mean, they both almost put up 30 points.
Right. I mean, based on the highlights that I've seen, the Jets just had a lot more intensity than the Patriots because, I mean, the Jets have just been getting killed by the Patriots for the last 20 years. And so it was like, wait, this is our chance, to beat the Patriots, on our home turf and show them who's boss. And they got really close. They probably could have beat them if it wasn't for Adam Gase in the front office that's trading everybody. But, the Patriots, I mean, they got lucky. They squeaked by. It would have been awesome, though, to see the Jets beat the Patriots and watch them go 2-6.
Right. Do you think the Jets win a game this season? I mean, it's week 10. We got 6-7 games with a bye week, 6 games. Do you think they win at all?
I think they will. I think they'll win 1. I don't know against 2, but maybe they'll win one. Maybe it'll be like week 17 where they like beat like the Dolphins or someone to like knock them out of the playoffs. I don't know if they play the Dolphins week 17. Wouldn't that be pretty wild?
Hey, I can write that down. We can
Yes.
look, but they
So,
gotta
like,
play week 17. So
yeah. So like if the Dolphins are like 8-7 and they're like 0-15, watch them beat
I
the
could see
Dolphins. Who
them
do they
going
play?
0-15.
Who do they play? Are you looking up who they play week 17?
Yeah, Jet schedule. More games.
Joe Flacco was decent.
Ooh.
Who do they play? Patriots? Bills?
Week 17 they play the Patriots.
Oh,
In
okay.
Foxborough.
Okay. Yeah.
Next week they play Chargers, then the Dolphins, Raiders. Oh, they're gonna get squashed this game. The Seahawks, Rams, Browns, Patriots.
Watch them like beat the Seahawks like 35-7.
I think they'll win against. If we were to give them a win, honestly, I could see them beating the Chargers next week, only because the Chargers keep continuing to choke.
Right.
But if I had to be legit, I would probably say the Browns a couple days after Christmas. I don't know. That just it screams a 0-16 season.
Yeah. Yikes.
Dang. Big yikes. That is all for week 9 review. Bro, you had our next topic.
Yeah, so the next topic I think is pretty cool. Jake, I know that we talked a little bit of hockey when the Stanley Cup was going on and stuff like that. And one of my favorite things about hockey is that the hockey mentality and the brotherhood that all the players have. Hockey's crazy. Like, if someone even looks at the goalie wrong, it's on. And that's something that I really wish more baseball players and football players had in common, like when, someone, does like a dirty play on someone or, does something you don't like that's, kind of, stretches the rule book or little play after the whistle. I mean, you stand up for your boy. You go do whatever has to be done, Do you agree with this thought that I have, or what do you think?
Yeah, most definitely. I think you see a lot of it in the NFL. I think the NFL is kind of more of that hockey mentality, like you're saying. Like especially like if it's a dirty hit, whatever.
Right.
So like for instance, I forgot what year it was. I think it was 2018, 2019. Steelers at Bengals. And Vontaze Burfict had a dirty hit on Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
I think
that
this was 2018.
Yeah.
And the very, very next play, Juju ran, I think it was a slant route or something like that, and just completely sideswiped him. So
and then he's laying there like, and then Juju's
looking over him.
I love that.
Yeah,
bro. You love to see that from your teammates.
And so I think that's what that hockey mentality is in football is like you said, stand up for your brother. It's a brotherhood. You play in the league, you're hundreds of players that don't ever make it. Right. So I think for sure that hockey mentality in the football is more. What's the word? It's more
prevalent. Is that a word? Prevalent? Relevant, I guess
you could say. But so if we flip the script to the MLB, the only incident that I can get would probably be the Manny Machado and Josh Donaldson deal. I'm talking about how they had kind of a little skirmish in I think it was Baltimore, Oakland.
Right.
The pitchers are the one that are at fault for that,
Yeah.
And so I think that it's the pitcher at that point where they stand up for your player, stand up for your bro, whatever. I think it depends on the not the outcome, but like the events leading up to it, most definitely. And I think that goes along with the NFL as well.
Yeah, right. Now, one of my favorite baseball players that I think really embodied the hockey mentality in baseball is actually the Royals' late pitcher, Yordano Ventura. Because, I mean, the Royals after that 2014 season, like everybody, like so much, like everybody thought it was a fluke, and no one's really taking them seriously. And the guys were like, okay, let's do it. We're good. But a lot of people didn't like this, but I loved it. Giordano was like, okay, you guys don't think we're the real deal? How's a fastball to the hip feel? Is that the real deal?
Right.
Right. And then do you remember that one play you did like to Adam Eaton where it was just
Oh, yeah. It was a comebacker to the mound.
right.
He like
He just
kicked
goes,
his leg out, whatever.
yeah, he said something
I
that
remember
wasn't
that.
very kind. Yeah. But the thing is, because remember, Jeff Samardzija and Lorenzo Cain, like an opening day, like Samardzija just hit Cain because they were losing and he was mad about it. Anyway, so then Giordano stood up for him, throughout that game and later in the season. And yeah, no, I think there's definitely needs to be some more. I'm not saying you just go fight everybody every 2 seconds, but definitely stick up for your guys in a way that makes other teams fear the results if you do something dirty or out of the rule book to your player.
So would that be considered an unwritten rule? I know we talked kind of unwritten rules earlier in our series here.
I think it should be. I think it should be.
Okay.
Yeah, no, my thing is like, remember when Noah Syndergaard, I don't know if he was trying to hit Escobar, but in the World Series in 2015, where the pitch kind of strayed a little too high, and he even said that, dude. He was like, maybe.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And I think, what was it, the very next play, he hit like a double or triple or something like that?
Yeah. If I were,
The very next pitch.
I know it's the World Series and all, but like maybe I'd wait like later in the game just to see like how like what the score was. But dude, like I would throw one at maybe not even Syndergaard, maybe at one of their best players. Maybe at like Murphy, he was red hot during that World Series or that playoff.
Murphy.
Throw one that strays high at him. See how he likes it.
Yeah, even someone who's a big name like Yoenis Cespedes.
Right.
I'm trying to think who else.
Conforto was a pretty up and coming rookie that year. It'd be like a welcome to MLB moment.
Well, dude, especially in the
kind of a funny thing though. Like there are certain limits though. Like obviously you're not going to throw a ball at Giancarlo Stanton or Aaron Judge. Did you see that? Someone did that. Like someone hit somebody on, I think it was like the Tigers, and he hit them, and then the Tigers threw a ball at Stanton, and Stanton. So stupid. Like, why would you hit Stanton? You could literally hit like Brett Gardner, who was literally next. If you just waited, you could have hit little mega mind looking Brett Gardner.
Right. Hey, Stanton's stacked, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, I definitely think the hockey mentality in football and baseball, it kind of depends on the events leading up to it. What's the bad blood that is brewing,
Right.
So it could be a whole lot of nothing, honestly. Like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, why hit a big name person when you're just trying to throw them off their game?
Right.
Yeah, man, it could go either way.
Yeah.
I do like to see it though.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
Okay, so that brings into our next topic, and this is women.
This is an interesting one. This is an interesting one.
I thought this was fun. I was thinking about this on my walk around the park the other day, and I was like, it'd be fun to talk about like women in pro sports, because when baseball was created way back in the day, in the rule book, I don't know if it still says it, but it said that women aren't allowed to play because the sport is too violent. Well, they've taken literally all violence out of baseball, besides the charging the mound and whatnot. But you can't, block the plate no more. You can't, run into the catcher. You can't take out runner at second, for the double play. There's a lot of different parts of the game that were physical that aren't really in the game anymore, like allowed by the rules. So, I mean, the claim that, this too violent is kind of irrelevant now. So I mean, like why? I don't know, because why? What's keeping like a woman from just playing second base and hitting the ball? I think baseball, you could definitely have a co-ed professional league. Just because it's not very physical. There wouldn't be that big of a disadvantage just based on genetics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What do you think?
So, Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's kind of taken out the violence. Um,
Yeah,
Personally, I would like to see it.
me too. I'd love
Um,
it.
I do feel that women, especially, have just a different mindset when it comes to certain things. And I think in baseball, like if you so like take softball for example,
Hmm.
you have to know the very next pitch or like the very next outcome. It's the same thing.
Right,
You're
it's the
playing the
same thing.
same game.
Right,
So
exactly.
yeah, I definitely agree with you. I do think that women in pro sports could bring. I hope it wouldn't be like a money thing or like
Yeah,
a
but that's another thing though.
okay.
You have these, rich billionaire owners that, are looking always to make some more dough. Think about it.
So
Think about it. They find like a 16-year-old woman, from like anywhere like USA. I know that baseball is really big in Cuba and Latin America. Maybe you can find a girl down
yeah.
there, and then just sign her as a 16-year-old like they do all the other people. And think about how many jerseys you would sell, how many people would come to the game, and also like how inspiring it would be for young women all over the place to see. Because especially in baseball, because baseball is not really a physical sport; it's a bat and ball sport. you know,
Well, I wouldn't even say it's a bat and ball sport, man. It's a mental game
yeah,
for sure. Especially me playing for years. It's a I think yeah, it's 90% mental, 10% physical.
yeah,
And that goes a long ways. And I like I said, I definitely think women in pro sports have a different mindset type thing when it comes to like certain things of like, okay, so like for example, like runners at first and second, one out, what's the play type thing. Like I feel like they would already know that when they're sitting in the
yeah.
on
I
deck
could see
circle,
that.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I think it would be good. I hope that they wouldn't do like a 16-year-old out of like Dominican Republic, whatever. I'm not
Hmm.
saying Dominican Republic doesn't have great athletes because they do. Like you said, Latin America, stuff like that, great athletes. Um, but to work at it on I guess, a daily basis of finding the one to break that barrier. And
Yeah,
I kind of hate how they haven't done it now. Like it feels kind of like I hate using this word because it doesn't really make sense, but it's kind of segregated.
yeah.
Like it's
I get you.
divided, and I feel like that
Right.
sucks.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's literally like no logical reason anymore why the MLB can't have women play in there. I
yeah,
mean, I think some people will be like, "Well, the locker room, bro. You can have two locker rooms. You go to
yeah,
the gym,
most
you work out
definitely,
at the gym. You have the boys, the girls, and you have a family locker room too.
exactly.
I don't think that's an issue at all. And it would just be really cool to see, um, because there's different types of players. Like, um, just because of the genetics, I don't know how many like home runs um, girl would hit in the league, but playing from softball. I mean, I never play softball, but it would make me think that they would have better like hand-eye coordination, if that makes sense, and they would be able
I've
to
played.
kind of,
I mean, I've played slow pitch softball, and
yeah,
that really
dude.
messed me up.
Yeah, so I mean, it'd be really cool to see, and I think it's entirely possible. And I truly believe that we will see a woman play in the major leagues, whether it be pitcher, catcher, shortstop, in our lifetime. Definitely.
I could honestly see it. So if I had to put a number on it, it wouldn't surprise me if it would happen in the next 25, 30 years.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. That'd be amazing, dude. And now for football, I don't want to
That's
say
where that's where it draws the line. And I feel like because football is more of a
it
contact sport,
is. It
more
is.
violent type thing. So that's where it draws lines. I feel like maybe in different leagues, yes.
Yeah,
Like for example, college maybe only because it's not at the top level of NFL,
maybe. Yeah,
30 hits or 100%. So I don't know.
right. Definitely. I mean, kicker. There was I forget her name, but she was on the U.S. Women's National Team. She was 36, or she's
Yeah,
36.
I
So
know who you're talking about. I can't
yeah,
remember her name. I heard that
yeah.
story.
Dude, I mean, there's a kicker, punter. I mean, yeah, no, that's you'd imagine like Alex Morgan kicking for the Dallas Cowboys. If we
Why's it
didn't
gotta be
have
the Cowboys?
Greg the leg, we'd
Why's it gotta be the Cowboys?
I don't know. Anybody, no, like, dude, I don't know. I'm just thinking that'd be so
Didn't
cool.
somebody try out? Female.
She
Someone
did. She
tried
did
out to be
try
a
out.
kicker.
She
Yeah,
did.
I
She
remember
was
that.
she was 36, and the Eagles already had Jake Elliott. So,
I
I mean,
remember that.
I've always thought that, like, remember, like, a few years ago when, like, Cairo Santos for the Chiefs got hurt, so they had, like, a fill-in kicker for a bit. I always thought they should have just signed, like, Graham Zusi from Sporting KC to kick for a few weeks
Yeah,
until he came back.
yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, and then
then
also
he didn't come back. We had to sign another one. That's how we
right,
got.
that's how you got
Harrison
Butker. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
from the Panthers practice squad.
right. You know Josh Lambo, the kicker for Jacksonville,
Yeah,
played in the MLS. He played in the MLS for a few years.
yeah.
Anyway, I think honestly, dude, I really think basketball women could definitely play in basketball. I think it wouldn't be as common as it would be in the MLB, but I really think it's entirely possible.
I can see that. I just don't know when. And the only downfall with that is I feel, and this has kind of been an issue for a while now, is the pay grade between the two leagues.
Yeah,
Granted, NBA has,
yeah, so much more money, dude.
oh my gosh, compared to the WNBA. So, and that you gotta think of that from all the sports too, the football, basketball, baseball. There'll be a huge difference in pay, and could that be kind of a sexist type thing? Like you have to think logistically of
No.
how, but you would have to think. You and I think no,
Mm-hmm.
but as like a billionaire owner, or whatever, or the media, whatever, they'll run it as sexist, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, true, but there are some girls that play in the WNBA that I think could totally be competitive in the NBA. Maya
Yeah,
Moore, Sue Bird. I mean, she might be
Bird for
she
sure.
could be a coach. You know, if she's a little she's getting up there in age. Brittany Griner.
I
There's a
remember
lot
her
of
from Baylor.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean honestly, it'd be really cool, and I could definitely see it happening because I mean the WNBA is expanding. Um,
Yeah,
LeBron, he's really big on that. Kobe Bryant was super big into that before he passed. So I could really see it happening. But like in baseball, I could totally see like maybe like 15 or 20% of the players being female at some point. But for basketball, I could see it being less than 5, simply because there's just not like nobody in the WNBA dunks. You know, I mean, there's been
yeah,
like 20 dunks in the whole history of the league. So, um, that's why I think maybe it could be Maya Moore because she's not very tall. She's 5'10". She could play guard. Chris Paul's like, well, Curry. Well, Isaiah Thomas. That's what I'm. Isaiah
Oh,
Thomas.
speaking of Chris Paul, you see
Oh
that he's
yeah,
looking at, not him, but
the
he's looking
team
at getting traded
makes
to
sense.
Phoenix.
Makes sense. They
Looks
should have
like
did that
getting
last
going to
year.
Phoenix.
Why did they do
Oh
that?
yeah,
But
oh yeah.
anyway, yeah. And then for hockey, hockey's a crazy barbaric sport, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Whew.
It would, dude, because hockey, dude, is ruthless.
Yes,
It wouldn't surprise me if they were like, yeah, screw it, just Brittany or Ginger, go out there.
yeah,
you know, soccer too. But the thing is, like, you just want to make sure that these ladies aren't at a genetic disadvantage because, um, just naturally, guys just have more muscle. They lift more. I mean, you see that, in the Olympics every year. Um,
hmm
you just want to make sure that, if they were, guys and girls sports were going to be co-ed, is that the playing field would be as even as it can be. And I think
right.
for soccer it could be a little hard. Um, Basketball too, but I think there are definitely girls that should be fine and handle it. But for baseball, man, I don't think really the genetic making of males and females really matters. In baseball,
Yeah, most definitely. I agree
everybody's
with that.
different players. I mean, we saw Monet Davis. You remember in like 2014?
Hey, hey, Philadelphia. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
no, she was awesome. Um, I think she plays college basketball now, but it would have been cool to see her be the first
I think
pitcher.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was definitely a lot to think about.
yeah, and that was fun. That's that 2 a.m. deep thinking for you.
Deep thoughts. Yeah. Is that all we have? That's crazy. No way.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess we'll just wrap this up then. This is
Right. So I think not next week, but next episode we'll talk week 10 review, go over some games, and just keep you guys involved in the world of sports.
right. So this
Well,
is
like we said earlier, today is Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans who are gone, who have served, who have done their time. We appreciate you. Thank you for your service. We
yep.
thank you. We're Americans for a reason. For you guys,
Right.
flag still strong. Thank you for that. But once again, quick shout out to our awesome sponsor, Connor's Computer Repair. Best rates in town, Kansas City metro area. Go check them out online, connorscomputers.com. Tell them Rival sent you. Don't forget to click the link in the description to like, subscribe, share with your friends. I'm Jake. This is Bo, and this is episode 17 of Rivaled.
Yep. Adios.